I'm tuning into Sin's workshop. Hope you're having a wonderful day. So, today we're going to be talking about Juniper and Thorn by Ava Reid. This is, I believe, the second novel by Ava Reid. I haven't read her first one. I do want to. She pretty much does retellings, and Juniper and Thorn is a retelling of the Juniper Tree by the Brothers Grimm. It's one of the lesser known fairy tales by the Brothers Grimm. I've only even read it a couple times. That's only because I have the giant collection. But, I digress. The story follows Marshall. I always want to say Marshallin. It's Marlinchin. She's the youngest daughter of pretty much the town wizard, whose name I forget, and you know what? He's kind of an asshole, so who cares what his name is. It follows her. She's the youngest daughter. She is a witch in her own right. Her gift is she can touch you and see your memories, right? So she's kind of like a memory seeker. That's what I'm going to call her. Her and her sisters pretty much live in a gilded cage under the watchful eye of their father. Now, I'm going to preface everything by saying this is not a book for everyone. It does deal with abuse. It's not explicit in the sexual abuse. It is alluded to regarding Savas. But I'm going to call her Mar. Our main character, Mar, she does exhibit a lot of signs of PTSD. She is verbally abused by her oldest sister, who's pretty much a bitch. Her middle, the second oldest, the middle child, she kind of stands up for her, but then also kind of doesn't. Because it's like, as long as they're picking on you, they leave me alone, kind of thing. And then her father just, he exploits her. Not sexually, but he did exploit her to the point where he didn't mind if people hurt her. So he's kind of an asshole, and you do get to see those scenes. It is uncomfortable. And I'm telling you this because when I write my reviews, I tend to scroll through reviews to see, what people liked, what people didn't like, just to give me an idea of what I should discuss, right? For a lot of people, it was triggering. And I get why. I haven't personally experienced any of that stuff, but it was just like unsettling for me to read. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed the story, but those scenes are going to be uncomfortable for readers, especially when you give in the Gothic atmosphere, the dark tempo of the story. It is a good story for me personally, but I think a lot of people are going to be bothered by those scenes. That being said, I do think of Juniper and Thorn as a survivor's story. Savas, from a young age, has been pretty much, he's been sexually abused or sexually taken advantage of by his agent, his handler. He's like, oh, I rescued you from poverty so you could be a star. Ma'am, that does not, sir, that does not give you any excuse to touch this guy from adolescence to adulthood. You do not have a relationship with this guy. What you did was grooming. And he gets his. But in any case, Savas is Mar's love interest. So he and her, they kind of bond together over their shared experiences of abuse. And I think that's kind of wonderful that they find peace in each other because they understand each other on a very deep and emotional level. They respect each other. Like, I don't want to be touched. You don't want to be touched? That's fine. That's okay. There are times when neither of them want to be touched by the other person. They don't want to be touched at all. Sometimes they just want to be held. And I think it really does form a really nice friendship and romance between the two characters because, and a lot of people had the problem with this too, they found their freedom through each other, through sex. I found that to be really empowering for them because for so long, their bodies were not their own. their choices were not their own. And then all of a sudden, their body is their own, their choice is their own. This is like the ultimate act of defiance for these two characters. You know, Mara's father wanted her to always be a virgin. It's like, well, sir, I am not. And not only did I lose my virginity, I lost it to a foreigner, because he's xenophobic, like incredibly xenophobic. And he hates progress, and he hates innovation. He just hates it all. He's an ass. So that's why I thought, for me, my perspective was, it was empowering to see these two characters find freedom and strength and grow through taking choice, by taking back the power, you know, taking back their autonomy to decide what they can and cannot do with their own bodies. And yes, that means having sex with someone other than, you know, who they are supposed to. Oh, you know? So I thought that was empowering. But I understand why a lot of readers did not find that empowering, especially if you are a survivor yourself. You might not like that part of the story. Again, I, you know, haven't been there. So I can't really speak towards that. But I found it empowering just because of the tone and the way the characters grow, and the way Mar really goes from, she reminded me a little bit of Alice from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. Now that I think about it, you know, kind of meek, kind of introverted, and then she's bam! Wham bam, thank you ma'am. She is a warrior woman, and that's what I loved about that character growth, you know, that journey for her. And that's why it was, for me, in my perspective, I found her having sex, and again, it's not explicit, you know, it happens, it's there, but it's not like overtly explicit to the point of distaste. But that's why I liked it, and that's why I enjoyed it, and that's why I found it empowering. You know, that being said, I understand why people didn't. So I'm going to go ahead and give Juniper and Thorn 4 out of 5 stars. There are bits that are uncomfortable, like I've already stated, but I do think the story is worthwhile. However, if you think this book is going to trigger you, please try to avoid it. Try 12-minute books so you can just get a summary of it if you think it's going to trigger you. The last thing I think anyone wants, including the author, is for you to be triggered as a reader, and to relive horrific experiences. So if you want to go ahead and purchase the book, please remember to purchase from your local bookseller or online book retailer. I will include links of where to purchase the book in the description below. Please do not forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share it with all your book-loving friends. You can also become a supporter on Buy Me a Coffee by making a donation to my PayPal, or by purchasing one of my handmade candles. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.